Some of you are very good friends of mine and don't really like to cook, or don't actually sometimes have the time or the expertise to cook. So I'm going to show you a very simple chicken recipe. This is a baked chicken. Around my home we actually call this Swiss chicken. So I'm going to start out by taking a glass Pyrex baking dish. I'm going to lightly grease it. The next step in this is to have your chicken prepared and cut. You're going to need 1 can of cream of chicken soup. And you're also going to need 1/3 of a cup of white wine, some breadcrumbs, 1 cup, and some bacon. About 6 strips will be great. I'm going to start out with my chicken. As you can see, I've got it laid out. I'm going to place it into the baking dish and just arrange it kind of in a straight line. Nothing overly taxing with this. And once we get that chicken inside of the baking dish, the next step we're going to do is to make our sauce to go with it. Get those in there very nicely. Next, we're going to combine our white wine and our cream of chicken soup and mix them together very nicely. And just kind of, get it to a nice consistency where they're well blended. You don't want clumps of chicken just kind of hanging out in your casserole or clumps of soup. You want it to be well blended. So I've started to run out a little bit of room in this bowl. But that should work nicely. I'm going to step over to the fridge and I'm going to get some fresh Swiss cheese that I'm going to use to top the chicken. And I'm going to use the bacon at this point too. With the bacon, what you want to do is you've got your chicken arranged, as you can see. I'm going to very lightly put a piece of bacon across each piece of chicken. It's just to give it a little more texture and the flavor, and something that I very much enjoy. And I'm going to get the Swiss cheese and we'll layer that next. You can actually buy your Swiss cheese so that it's previously cut, or you can buy a block and cut it yourself. I prefer just to buy the slices for this recipe. It really doesn't make a difference how you come about getting that cheese. So I'm going to layer the cheese next over the bacon. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees. And at this point, I now have the Swiss cheese and the bacon over the chicken. I'm now going to spoon in that mixture that we made earlier of the cream of chicken soup and the white wine. I'm just going to kind of pour that in all around, just to give it some moisture as it cooks. If you do not have white wine around the house, you can substitute vodka. I've found works very nicely as well. The alcohol will cook out as the chicken cooks, but it keeps the flavor very moist and light, and helps tenderize that chicken just a little bit more as well. So, now that we've got that done, that's something that looks kind of like this in your baking dish. Now I'm going to take some butter. I've melted 1 stick of butter. I'm going to pour half of that stick over to combine with the cream of chicken and the white wine. I'm going to take my breadcrumbs. This is 1 cup. And I'm going to very lightly sprinkle that over the chicken casserole. A little bit more. And then to top it off so that those breadcrumbs will really get good and golden brown, I'm going to add a little bit more of that butter. I do need to whisk it just a tad. There's one little chunk still left in there. And I'm going to lightly pour that over the breadcrumbs, just kind of drizzling it over. And now we're ready to put it in the oven. You're going to place this in a 350 degree oven, and you're going to let it cook for approximately 45 to 55 minutes. You want your chicken cooked all the way through. So you'll need to keep a check on it about the 45-50 minute mark. I always err on the side of judgment for 55. Hope you enjoy this recipe.